This right here is Donald Trump at his best. Watch as he destroys woke culture for 10 minutes straight. You guys are not going to want to miss a second of this.
It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true. Look at what's happening.
Love him or hate him, Donald Trump is a political tornado that's impossible to ignore. His brash style and unfiltered remarks have made him one of the most controversial figures in modern history. While his words offend many,
it's a shame the person missed.
Others cheer him on as a crusader against what they see as runaway political correctness. For the next 9 minutes, you'll witness Trump's most audacious takedowns of woke culture, starting with the time when a woke feminist tried to cancel Trump during a conference. She went as far as indirectly calling him a misogynist, and needless to say, it backfired on her. Watch closely.
Woman, what it...
And needless to say, it backfired on her. Watch closely.
But I don't think that you're a friend to woman. What it...
I knew I shouldn't have picked her. I knew I shouldn't have picked her. All right, so let me give you that answer right now. I respect women incredibly. I have had women working for me in positions that they've never worked in terms of construction, in terms of so many different jobs. I had a woman who was in charge of the building of Trump Tower many years ago, before it was even thought, before anybody would have even thought of it, and did a fantastic job. I have given women more opportunity than I would say virtually anybody in the construction industry. I have a daughter named Ivanka and a wife named Melania who constantly want me to talk about women's health issues because they know how I feel about it, and they know how I feel about women. I respect women. I love women. I cherish women. You know, Hillary Clinton said he shouldn't cherish. Well, I said I do cherish. I cherish women. My mother was one of the great people of the world, maybe the greatest ever, my mother. I respect women, and I'm going to take care of women. You know, Jeb Bush didn't want to fund women's health issues. You read that. You saw that. And then he took it back later. I will take care of women, and I have great respect for women, and I do cherish women.
I mean, why is it so crazy to want to just hire the best person possible for the job? If that happens to be a man, okay. If that happens to be a woman, okay. If that happens to be an African American, an Indian, a Native American, I don't care. Whoever can do the job the best will get the position. That's how Donald Trump thinks. That's how we want our leader to think. That's what America's all about. If you come in and work hard and give your best and you're the best at the job, you will be chosen 99% of the times.
He went on the offensive, listing his history of empowering women in male-dominated fields. But she wasn't over. As a feminist, she had to pull out the wage gap debate.
I want to get paid the same as a man, and I think you understand that. So, if you become president, will a woman make the same as a man, and do I get to choose what I do with my body?
You're going to make the same if you do as good a job. You're going to make the same if you do as good a job, and I happen to be pro-life. Okay, I'm pro-life.
In just a few words, he dismissed the entire concept of a systemic wage gap, boiling it down to individual performance. But Trump wasn't done dropping bombshells. In a video published by Trump himself, he fearlessly dives into a red-hot cultural debate. With his trademark bluntness, Trump declares what many think but few dare say: there are only two genders.
As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago.
But
Strong men produce good times. Good times produce weak men. Weak men create hard times. Do you think in China and Russia, do you think they're debating on if there's 7,000 genders? No, they're focused on building up their military, building up their economy. They're focused on really important things. Meanwhile, America is too busy shooting itself in the foot to actually focus on what's important. That's why Donald Trump is the perfect person to take office, because he needs to put us back on the right track.
we're diving into another explosive controversy. Trump's about to weigh in on trans athletes in women's sports, and the audience's reaction clearly shows what Americans truly want.
And by the way, we should not allow men play in women's sports. So crazy. See, it just shows you what these political geniuses, I have all these consultants, all these great... Sir, don't say that. It's very controversial. That's not written down anywhere. I just said, this might be a good time. So, they said, don't do it. And that gets the biggest hand of everything. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But here's where it gets wild. Trump's got a story about this issue that's so outrageous, it'll make your jaw drop. Just watch.
I tell the story of the great swimmer, great female swimmer, wonderful woman, beautiful woman. She's been swimming for many years. She wants to break the world record. And she's at the pool, and she wants to break it by 1/8 of a second. That's like fast. And she's going to do it. She's getting ready, and she looks down. She sees all people she's been competing with for years because they rise to the top. And she looks over here, and she sees people. But then she looks, and they call this, they say this. She sees somebody with a man's body. That's what they do. They call it. I said, you think it's okay to say that? That's actually the expression they're using. They'll change that soon, so I have to do it quickly. I have to say it, because they're going to change that. And you know the guy. He was named Female Athlete of the Year. Did you know that? It's true. He was just named female. We're not dealing with things that are so easy here, Newt. This is a difficult, crazy world. You'd almost say, is the world going crazy? Because 99% of the things I'm saying are common sense. But she looks over and sees her friends down there, and then she looks, and this guy is massive. He's got a wingspan. He's got arms that are 30 feet long. And I always say, and she was seriously injured during the meet because he swam so fast that he gave her major wind burn as he went by her. And she didn't break the record, but he broke the record that day. You know what the number was? 38 seconds. So she wanted to break it by 1/8 of a second, and he broke it by 38 seconds. Or the weightlifter, I think it was like 218 pounds. I know, that's a lot. I can't lift it. I don't know who can. Any of our ex-Trump people, they're all Trump people. Kevin's saying he can lift it. I don't know about that, Kevin, but that's a lot. 218 pounds, and she got over that weight, and she was going to break it. They put a 1/2 ounce here, little tiny ring on top of these big barbells, dumbbells. And they go, and she went like this. And she got to break it. Stood for 11 years. And her mother and father are screaming, you got it. You got it, darling. I'm so proud of my girl. Well, she couldn't do it. And then this guy comes along. He's named Alice. And he looks at the weight. World record, world record. We could have put another couple of 100 pounds on. I think he would have lifted it. It's so disrespectful to women. And they say it's politically incorrect. It's so disrespectful to women. So horrible. So unfair. It's so unfair.
But Trump wasn't done impressing the audience. You know, a Trump rally isn't complete without his signature brand of humor. Let's watch as he proves why he's not just a politician, but also an entertainer who knows how to work a crowd.
And I'll tell you what, if I were ever, I'd be the greatest women's basketball coach in history. Because I don't like LeBron James. I like Michael Jordan much better. But I'd go up to LeBron James. It doesn't matter. I'd say, LeBron, did you ever have any desire to be a woman? Because what I'd love you to do is star on my team that I'm building up. I will have the greatest team in history. They'll never lose. Nobody will come within 70 points of this team. Now we have to change that, and we have to make it okay to talk about it. You know, the young lady I was talking about is afraid to talk about it. She's shunned and she's canceled when she talks about it. This is crazy. Right, Kellyanne?
Trump's final words land hard. We're afraid to talk about woke culture because it can get us canceled. It's not just politicians feeling the heat, as most of us are holding back because of the consequences.
Just take a look at Riley Gaines. She was a college swimmer. She was breaking records in college. And then she had to compete against a man who was swimming against her. She got absolutely smoked. But then she did something incredibly brave, which is speak up and then stand up against this insanity, saying, this is not fair. I worked my entire life for this. Do you think this is fair for females nationwide? You're just stripping away their dreams. If she was only competing against females, she would have easily won. What's happening to female sports in this country is such a travesty, because you are tearing away the hopes and dreams of countless women across this country. Eventually, all these girls are just going to want to stay home, because why else would I want to compete against a man who's born with biological advantages over me? I'll tell you what though, we're about to have a major culture shock when Donald Trump gets back in, and he's not going to let any of this nonsense fly any longer, because that's what it is. It is nonsense. And that's not to be bigoted or hatred towards anyone who's transgender. You can do whatever the heck you want. But you can't compete against females if you were born a male. That's common sense. So we need to start protecting females more often, and Trump's going to do that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. And let me know, what would you do if you had a daughter who was competing against a transgender male? How would you handle it? Let me know. I'd love to hear that. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.